What's your focus now, Calvin, on your current company?
Well, so the Bitcoin really hasn't like left my focus insofar as that I think that this is a tool for sovereignty,
Okay.
which is going to be increasingly important in space. Um, and this whole data centers in space thing, like that was something that I was kind of pontificating on, trying to figure out like what could a company look like that does that. Now that this was a couple of years ago, so now this is a lot more becoming apparent. Things are starting to solidify what the move to bring more compute into space, what it's going to look like. Um, but our company is focused at the protocol layer for the time being, meaning that we have software that we're offering to folks with the idea that this is going to increase the interoperability of space. So if you're familiar with like OAuth 2.0, where you can use Google to sign into different websites,
Yeah.
is an authorization. And then also you have that SSL TLS lock icon when you're in a secure HTTP link. Those two types of cryptography are extremely powerful, but there's no standard protocol that's like that for space yet. There's a bunch of different attempts, but there's no way to, if you treat each space asset as like a website, there's no way to link all of these things together and really start treating data connectivity, data as a pipeline is more of a commodity inside the market. So our company's trying to onboard people into a marketplace and bring down the prices of everything and render higher quality service to customers in general.
Okay.
Okay, who are your customers?
So right now, I think that the beachhead market, so to speak, is going to be in downlink optimization. So what that means is that uh, both ground stations are going to be important in this, as well as finding people where they're downlinked, where they are bottlenecked by their downlink capability. Um, so what we're hoping to do is have a system that um, allows people to be able to not have to deal with the very long onboarding process associated with being able to have two aerospace companies talk to each other today. Where if we can get them to adopt our protocol, that's basically it runs at the application layer. It's extremely lightweight with regards to the type of cryptography that's used. It's just the way that you would tell an asset that you want to do a function call or whatever it may be on that asset. If we can get multiple people to use this format, then we can really start having space communicate to each other in a very agnostic, hardware and constellation agnostic way that doesn't really exist today.
Okay. How do you get that done and smooth it out and maintain good security?
Well, so inherent to cryptography, there is the cryptographic protocols themselves are all open source. And this is on purpose because if you break a cryptographic scheme in somehow, you become pretty infamous inside the world of cybersecurity because you just solved a problem that nobody else could. So open protocols are a big part of this. And taking the open frameworks that exist inside of systems like the internet and applying those distributed system technologies to space is really what we're trying to do. I think the internet is a really great analogy for what we're trying to build.
The internet for space, so connectivity between spacecraft, space stations, that sort of stuff. Okay. And that's a pretty well understood system currently. They're going to be moving from radio signals to laser signals, like that's changing. But so
Sure.
you want to fit in kind of that layer.
So maybe I could get more specific. One of the things there's a company called Skywatch. Skywatch is a image broker. So you have all these different imaging satellites, but ultimately the customer isn't really going to care where they get their sub-meter photography from at the end of the day.
Right.
So they could, it doesn't matter who the provider is necessarily. But if you're a small to medium-sized organization, you're not going to be able to deal with these constellation companies on your own. This is something where Skywatch becomes a broker. So they broker a deal for all the small and medium customers for the images. And that increases the quality of service that's provided to those customers as well. Now, this is purely an exercise in business development. As far as I'm aware, I don't think that there's any type of underlying technology. But if Skywatch were to have an individual scrap packet that was like, hey, we want a photo with sub-micron or sub-meter resolution in this square kilometer over Houston or wherever it may be, that capability could be automatically bid and then distributed to the every satellite as a constellation agnostically, and then sold as a service in a much more automated and less business developer heavy way than it is today. Does that make more sense?
Yeah. Yeah.